Good morning to one and all. As a part of e-learning program, today we are going to discuss about histopathology of dental caries. Coming to the introduction, dental caries is the most prevalent chronic disease affecting the human races. It affects persons of both sexes and socioeconomic data and every age group. The word dental caries is derived from Greek. Rot means decay, ker means death. Definition: dental caries is an infectious microbiological disease of the teeth that results in localized dissolution and destruction of the calcified tissues of the teeth. The most common sites of dental caries initiation are pit and fissures. Early colonizers of form the bacterial plug in those areas, smooth enamel surfaces that shelters the plaque, and root surfaces. For easy understanding of the histopathology of dental caries is considered under caries of enamel, caries of dentin, and caries of cementum. The histopathology of caries under enamel. It mainly occurs in four sections, that is early submicroscopic lesion, phases of non-bacterial enamel crystal destruction, cavity formation, and bacterial invasion of enamel. In some cases, cavity formation and bacterial invasion of enamel occurs simultaneously. The caries of enamel is believed by preceding by the formation of microbial dental plaque. The process varies slightly depending upon the occurrence of the lesion on smooth surfaces or pit and fissures. For this reason, it is best to discuss the enamel caries histopathology under smooth surface caries and pit and fissure caries. Coming to the smooth surface caries of enamel, early caries of enamel is seen beneath the plaque as in areas of decalcification. These areas are famously known as white spot lesions. As the lesion progresses, it appears as bluish white in color. This is a critical point in the development of this disease, which is known as incipient caries of enamel. Coming to the histopathological features of your early enamel caries includes the first change which is evident was loss of interprismatic or interrod substance of the enamel, which increased the prominence of the rods. The initial change is roughening of the ends of the enamel rods, and other change observed will be the accentuation of the incremental striae of recesses. This appearance is an optical phenomena due to the loss of minerals, which causes the organic structures to appear more prominent. As the enamel caries progresses and involves the deeper layer of the enamel, it takes a distinctive shape, that is in form of a triangle in which a cone shaped lesion with apex towards the dentinoenamel junction and waves towards the surface of the tooth, leading to the loss of continuity of the enamel structure. Coming to the histopathological features of advanced enamel caries, before complete disintegration of the enamel, several zones are seen at the beginning on the dentinal side of the lesion. Those zones include zone 1 translucent zone, zone 2 dark zone, zone 3 body of the lesion, zone 4 and surface zone. Coming to the zone 1, this is a translucent zone, lies at the advancing front of the lesion. It is not always present. This zone is more porous than the sound enamel, having a pore volume of up to 1% compared to with 0.1% in case of your sound enamel. Next is dark zone. It's called dark zone because it does not transmit the polarized light. It lies adjacent and superficial to the translucent zone. It is also known as positive zone because it's usually present, and pore volume is up to 2 to 4%, and this zone is formed as a result of demineralization. Zone 3, the body of the lesion. This is the largest zone and lies between the relatively unaffected layer and the dark zone. It is the area of greatest demineralization. In polarized light, the zone shows a pore volume of up to 5%. Zone 4, the surface zone. This zone is not or least affected generally. The greater resistance of this surface layer may be due to the greater degree of mineralization and greater concentration of fluoride in the surface enamel. Next is pit and fissure caries. The caries process in pits and fissures do not differ in nature from the smooth surface caries except as the variations in anatomy and histological structures. Here too the lesion begins beneath the bacterial plaque with decalcification of the enamel. Pits and fissures are often of such depth that food stagnation generally seen at the base of the pits and fissures. The enamel at the bottom of the pits and fissures may be very thin, so early dentinal involvement occurs in case of pits and fissure caries. It usually appear as brown or black in color and a catch is felt with a fine explorer. But coming to the progression of your pits and fissure caries in case of your enamel, when the caries occurs in case of pits and fissures on the enamel, it follows the direction of the enamel rods and characteristically forms a triangular or cone shaped lesion with its apex at the outer surface and its base towards the dentinoenamel junction. Note that generally the shape of lesion here in case of pit and fissures of enamel is exactly opposite of the lesion occurs in case of your smooth surfaces in enamel. Next is dentinal caries. The progression of your caries in dentin is twice faster than in compared to that of your enamel. Coming to the early dentinal changes, the alteration in dentin due to the initial penetration by the caries is dentinal sclerosis or transparent dentin. This dentinal sclerosis is a reaction of your vital dentinal tubules and vital pulp which results in calcification of the dentinal tubules that tend to seal them off against the further penetration of your microorganisms. The formation of sclerotic dentin is minimum in case of your rapidly advancing caries and most prominent in case of your slow chronic caries. The term transparent dentin has been applied because of the peculiar transparent appearance of your tooth structure. The microorganisms may be found penetrating the dentinal tubules before there is any clinical evidence of your caries process, and these bacteria are called as pioneer bacteria. And then fatty degeneration of your Tomes dentinal fibers with deposition of your flat globules in these processes is seen. The initial decalcification involves along the walls of the dentinal tubules, allowing them to distend slightly. Individual tubules will usually show almost purest form of bacteria, that is either coccal form or bacilli form. The bacteria is responsible for the initiation of the disease, and high protein content of the dentin would favor the growth of these microorganisms. The proteolytic organisms is often more seen in deeper caries of the dentin, whereas estrogenic forms is more prominently seen in early caries. Coming to the advanced dentinal changes, the decalcification of the walls of the individual tubules leads to their confluence. Thickening and swelling of the sheet of Neumann may be noted at irregular intervals. Tiny liquefaction foci described by Miller are formed by coalescence and breakdown of a few dentinal tubules, and there is an void area of destruction parallel to the course of your dentinal tubules, and these are filled with necrotic debris increase in size by expansion. This leads to compression and distortion of dentinal tubules, leading to the destruction of your dentin by decalcification, followed by proteolysis in focal areas, eventually coalesce to form a necrotic mass of leathery consistency. Coming to the zones of dentinal caries, zone of fatty degeneration of Tomes fibers. This is formed by degeneration of the odontoblastic process. Dentin in this zone is normal. Zone of dentinal sclerosis. In this zone, deposition of calcium salts in the tubules takes place and bacteria is not found in this zone. Zone of decalcification. Demineralization of your intertubular dentin lead to a softer dentin. Zone of bacterial invasion. Bacteria is seen in this zone. Dentin is not self-repairable, so it has to be removed. Zone of decomposed dentin. This is the outermost zone. It consists of decomposed dentin filled with bacteria. It must be removed. This is a picture showing the zones of dentinal caries. What are the main differences between your affected and infected dentin? In case of your infected dentin, soft demineralized dentin invaded by bacteria will be seen, whereas in case of your affected dentin, demineralized dentin is seen but not invaded by the bacteria. Infected dentin is soft and leathery, can be flaked easily, whereas affected dentin does not flake easily, though soft in nature. Infected dentin show irreversible denature of your collagen, whereas uninterrupted collagen cross-linking is seen in case of your affected dentin. Infected dentin cannot be remineralized, whereas affected dentin can be remineralized. Caries detection dyes can stain infected dentin, whereas they can't stain your affected dentin. Coming to the caries in cementum, microorganisms appear to invade the cementum either along the Sharpey's fibers or between the bundles of fibers. Since the cementum is formed in a concentric layers and a lamellated appearance, the microorganisms tend to spread laterally between the various layers. After decalcification of the cementum, destruction of the remaining matrix occurs similar to that of in case of your dentin. Coming to the conclusion, dental caries is an irreversible process. It is a disease of modern man and its manifestations persist throughout the life. It's always better to prevent the disease than cure. Once occurred, it has to be treated as it has a dangerous sequelae. Thank you.